put it like this. We had a diamond which we are brushing since last almost, 1st of February will be 2 years. And it is a key defining, firstly, to know what we want to do and then to implement what we're willing to do. And now we are, from the technical components, we are really pushing to the maximum and delivering not only the pilot project to delivering a high valuable project which could simulate plus 50 degrees or minus 50 degrees and literally being able to build and to grow everything what we promised. And I believe we are on a 99.9% to deliver everything what we actually promoted in the last 12 months. The second part is creating the big business out of what we developed. And it's always a direction how we're going to go. Are we going to build vertical farming or modular farming solutions on a large high scale, let's say where we need kind of 30 million capital investment to build the largest modular and vertical farming here in Europe or maybe in the world? Or we're going to go into the franchising and expanding to external markets with our partners, where the company will have, let's say, the percentage of the company like a 15, 20, 30%, and then we will partner up with the people from the field, from the countries and from other countries, and the people who will be working in the best interest of themselves and into the GreenState. And even though in a couple of days, at the end of this month, we are having the external party which is coming from Germany, and they are willing to, they're not willing, they are very interested to examine the possibility of partnership and buying the GreenState brand and exporting it to the Germany. At this moment, I would like to say it's too early to describe, or it's too early to open all cards and say what are the points of discussion, but this is kind of the point which we are looking at, and I'm quite sure that we need an additional help, and we built everything so far ourselves, but going into the high industrial production where the project management, process management, the project output and all these key facts which are very relevant, I believe that we need additional help, and I believe that partnerships and franchising model, it's actually the model which could grow GreenState significantly, because we don't have to collect funds into our own company. We are not having problems with negative or positive cash flow. We don't have problems with having a huge debt at our company. So we are simply sharing our intellectual property, and we are producing for the company, other companies. So instead of producing only for ourselves, if we produce 1,000 modules for an external company, these 1,000 modules become operational cash flow instead of capital investment, and in the balance sheet it will look completely different, and the company will be evaluated on a way different. It will be evaluated differently. This is what I'm trying to say. As said before, once you write business plan, everything is done in a theory and everything looks perfect. And there is always a best case scenario, realistic scenario, and the worst case scenario. And those are scenarios mostly calculated for the finances. And this is what there are people looking at. And we actually faced some different problems. We have built our solution in a post-COVID time where we had a lot of funds, a lot of money printed from the Fed, a lot of money printed from the EU government. And in those 12 months, for example, several branches were really booming. We had a real estate branch booming, we had an IT branch booming, and fighting with the real estate has been good. It's been very hard for us. All the components we ordered from Schneider, Siemens, Maxa from Italy, Schrack, and all these components are built for industry. They are not civil components, they're not for the public use, they are mostly for the industrial parts. And our main competitors in terms of purchasing the parts, they are the real estate. And as you know, the real estate is a branch of many trillions and billions. And our orders of 200,000 or 300,000 are way too small to be the first one on the line. to get these products. So I would like to say our main problem so far has been supply chain, because we have planned, for example, electrical components to come on the 1st July and they arrived 3 months later, and this is exactly what we have to plan way better in the future, because we have to learn something from that I mean, the project management has to be done way more elastic, where we also have to plan with our manpower supplies, for example, because we don't have electrical engineers and we don't have electrical people who are building all these electrical components. We don't have them inside the company, so we also have to take them from the partners. And for example, they have been on our operational space at, for example, 2nd of August, but the components didn't came, and we had to postpone the installations. And I mean, this is all the problems we have been facing. They're mostly into supply chain, and this is what we have to plan way better next time, once we start building our own next modular farms and selling to our customers. So I'd like to say that was a very big learning process for us, and in a very important learning process. Second problem I would like to add, it's having solution on a paper, technical solution on a paper, it's always not the same as implementing it in a real life. So so far we had about 17 engineers on this project: machine engineering, the cooling and heating system engineering, and electrical engineering. And combining all these two branches together from external companies, it's not always easy. I mean, this is the first problem per se, and then we have the second problem. Once they draw the solutions, actually giving it to the people who are installing all these components and implementing all these drawings, it's not always easy to combine those 3 or 5 companies and those 3 or 5 parts together. So that was the second problem actually. We have all drawings, they are intellectual property of the GreenState, but again, for example, you have to move one pipe for 2 centimeters, which is again moving the whole electricity parts for 2 centimeters, and at the end we had to draw everything again on a real life example, how this could be built. Or for example, one component was 360 kilo, had a 360 kilo and can't be installed on a roof of the solution without additional protection, so we had to put additional pipes and additional steel frames to support actually the weight of a 360 kilo, not to hurt anyone or not to have a collision, let's say in the next 3 or 6 months.